You hear it before you see it. A shift in the grass. A bird that suddenly stops singing. The hair on your arms standing up for a reason your thinking mind hasn't caught up to yet. You freeze. For most of human history, that feeling was not anxiety. It was information. It was the thin line between waking up tomorrow and not. You like to tell yourself a flattering story. The story says humans sit at the top of the food chain, that you always have, that you are the apex predator the rest of the planet learned to fear. But that story is young. For the deep stretch of time that actually shaped your body and your brain, you were not the hunter at the top. You were meat. You were prey. And the animals hunting you were faster, stronger, and far better armed than you would ever be. So, how did you survive? Start underground, in a cave in South Africa called Swartkrans. In the 1960s and 70s, a paleontologist named C.K. Brain spent years digging through its layers, sorting thousands of broken bones. Many of them belonged to early humans, and Brain noticed something that did not fit the heroic story at all. The human bones were mixed in with the bones of antelope and other prey, all cracked and gnawed the same way. This was not a home, it was a feeding site. Something had been eating your ancestors here and stacking the leftovers. Then he found the skull. It is catalogued with the plain name SK54, the brain case of a young hominin child. In the back of it were two neat round holes. Brain held a leopard's lower jaw up against those holes, and the spacing matched exactly. The two punctures lined up perfectly with the two lower canine teeth of a leopard. The cat had clamped onto the child's skull, the way leopards still grab prey today, and most likely dragged the body up into a tree to eat in peace. Brain titled his book about all this with a question that flips the whole legend on its head. The hunters or the hunted? You were the hunted. And not only from the ground. Look at one of the most famous early human fossils ever found. The Taung Child. A small skull discovered in 1924. For decades, nobody could agree on how that child died. Then, researchers Berger and Clarke examined the damage around its eye sockets and the strange scratches and punctures in the bone. They matched the marks left by large birds of prey on monkeys they kill today. The most likely killer was an eagle. A bird dropped out of the sky, sank its talons into a child's head, and carried it off. Your ancestors were hunted from the grass and from the air at the same time. So picture what you actually were. Small, slow, no claws, teeth made for chewing fruit and roots, not for fighting. You could not outrun a lion. You could not climb faster than a leopard. You could not see in the dark, and you weighed less than the cats that wanted to eat you. By every measure that matters on the savannah, you were an easy meal. And yet here you are. So something worked. The answer is not one thing. It is a stack of small, stubborn tricks, and you are alive today because every single one of them held. The first trick was each other. A lone human on the open grassland is a snack. But a band of humans is something else entirely. Spread a group of you out, and suddenly there are eyes pointing in every direction. The predator loses its single greatest weapon, which is surprise. One of you catches the shift in the grass. One of you sees the bird go quiet, and the alarm passes through the whole group in a heartbeat. You did not survive because you were strong. You survived because you were many, and because you were watching for each other. The fear you feel in a crowd, when one person suddenly tenses up, that instant, contagious alertness, is a tool your ancestors sharpened over 1,000,000 years. The second trick was fire. The anthropologist Richard Wrangham has argued that control of fire reshaped almost everything about being human, from your small teeth to your large brain. But forget the cooking for a moment, and think only about the night. Darkness belonged to the predators. Their eyes worked in it, and yours did not. For most animals, nightfall meant total vulnerability. Fire changed the terms. A ring of flame is a wall that most predators will not cross. It pushes the dark back to the edge of camp and holds it there. With fire, you could finally sleep on the ground in the open without being picked off one by one. You turned the deadliest hours of the day into hours you could survive. The campfire was not romance. It was a fortress made of light. The third trick was distance. Your body is bad at almost everything a predator's body is good at. But there is one strange thing you are weirdly, spectacularly good at, and almost no other animal can do it. You can throw. The shape of your shoulder, the way your arm stores and releases energy like a slingshot, lets you hurl an object hard and accurately. A chimpanzee cannot do this. A lion certainly cannot. It meant that for the first time, a small, soft animal could hurt a large, dangerous one from a safe distance. A rock, then a sharpened stick, then a spear. You learned to reach out and touch a predator before it could ever reach you. The gap between you and the thing trying to eat you became your weapon. And then, slowly, you did something almost no prey animal has ever done. You turned around and started hunting back. Your body is built for one thing above all others, and it is not speed, it is endurance. The biologist Daniel Lieberman has shown that humans are among the finest long-distance runners in the entire animal kingdom. You sweat across your whole bare skin, which lets you shed heat while you move. Most four-legged animals cannot do this. They run faster than you over a short burst, but they overheat. So your ancestors invented a kind of hunting no claw or fang could counter. You simply followed an animal at a steady jog, hour after hour, under the midday sun, never letting it rest, until its body cooked from the inside and it collapsed. You did not need to be faster. You only needed to refuse to stop. The animal that was once prey had become the most patient predator on the plains. The fourth trick walked up to your fire on four legs. The anthropologist Pat Shipman has argued that one of the great turning points in human history was an alliance, not a weapon. Somewhere in the deep past, your ancestors and the ancestors of wolves stopped being rivals and became partners. The wolf had the nose and the speed and the ears in the night. You had the planning, the weapons, the fire. Together you were something neither could be alone. The wolf at the edge of your camp became the dog at your feet, and for the first time you had a sentry that never fully slept. You did not just survive the predators, you recruited one. Now stand inside a single night to feel how all of this fit together. The sun is gone. You are a small figure on a vast, dark plain, the kind of plain that has swallowed creatures far larger and stronger than you. But you are not alone, and you are not unarmed. The fire is burning. The others are close, their breathing soft around you. A few spears lean within reach. A dog lifts its head at a sound you cannot hear, then settles again. Somewhere out past the light, a leopard is awake, and it knows you are here. But it also knows the fire, and the many eyes, and the things that fly out of the dark and bite. So it waits. And in the morning you are still alive. Not because you won a fight, because you made yourself too costly to attack. And here is the twist, the part that should rearrange how you think about yourself. Being hunted did not just threaten you, it built you. The constant pressure of predators is one of the great forces that made you human. It rewarded the groups that cooperated and punished the ones that scattered. It favored the brain that could read a flicker of fear on a friend's face and act on it instantly. It pushed you toward fire, toward language, toward planning, toward trust. The leopard in the dark was not only your enemy, it was, in a strange and brutal way, your sculptor. Which brings you back to your own body, right now, in a world with no leopards in it. You walk to your car in a dark parking lot and your senses sharpen without being asked. A door slams behind you and you spin around before you decide to. You feel safer in a group and uneasy when you are the last one awake in a quiet house. None of this is weakness, and none of it is broken. It is the oldest survival system you own, still running, still scanning the grass for the thing that used to eat your ancestors. The predators are gone. The wiring they left behind is not. So the next time that feeling crawls up the back of your neck for no reason you can name, do not be so quick to call it irrational. You still hear it before you see it. And for 300,000 years, the ones who listened are the only ones who lived to have you.